redeeming a weird flex, says, I have so many points. I'm just going to burn 5,000 points because I can. And that's just the way it's going to be. Showing off those points. It's a weird flex. But I mean, the weird flex is the best flex. And you'll also notice every single time I run out of places like this, I actually literally will run the first couple steps. That's just if by chance there was a zombie just chilling right here, even though the chances are super low. Why do I have an E-box? An E-box? Oh. The ice boxes? Yeah, when we first set up the base, we got hit pretty hard by the zombies migrating, and they trashed one of our ice machines. So the fun thing with the ice machines are, that ice machine that's only half there only uses half the power. It has half the storage too, but you know, that's because there's only half of it there. But it still works. The downside is I can't move it, because I need both halves before it'll let me pick it up. And I can't just put down half of another ice machine to make a complete ice machine. I have to, like, get a sledgehammer and get rid of it at some point. You were pulling to the right. Let's grab your tire. Oh yeah, I still need to patch that army coat. We'll do that on the day of the thick fog, as I'll pad that coat out. I feel like one of our tires is either over or under inflated because it felt like it's pulling to the side. Alright, so I need to do repairs in this next time we're back in town. Yeah, let's inflate these tires. They're getting worn out. I need to remember to either mute the mic or to turn away when I go drink something. Sorry. Still not used to keeping open mic. Yeah, I actually have a third ice freezer just sitting there. I just haven't set it up. Okay, so I need to start looking at suspension and brakes and stuff like that, because they're getting worn out. Doesn't surprise me. We don't do a lot of off-roading, but we do end up off-roading a little bit. Hey, zombie, how's it going? I didn't hear the one to the bottom there. I just got suspicious when zombies started showing. I'm like, okay. So clearly at some point there's a migration that brought zombies back here. So we are probably due pretty soon to run the sirens and see what zombies show up. What level long blunt is this? I think 6? No, it's 7. You're right, 7. That tower was real low. That's probably the reason we were pulling aside so bad. Could you not? I'm trying to work my truck. One of the other things we could potentially work on is when we get back to, like, when we have another foggy day, start making a perimeter fence around our property so I can work at the cars and not have to worry about zombies strolling in on us. Fine, interrupt me. It's what it is. Okay, let's keep going. I saw there's one down here and one over here at least. Because we cleared this place forever ago, but what does happen is the game has mechanics with redistribution and migration. So even places that we have fully cleared, that we're like, oh yeah, we've absolutely cleared out that town. Over time, zombies will move in from the trees around it and all that kind of stuff to find their way, you know, back to where you've cleared. It's fine. You deal. That's the reasons why, like, once every other month or so... Actually, we're probably about due, honestly. But once every other month or so is I'll run around and I'll honk horns, do alarms, like, just make a general amount of noise in a town to clear out whatever's shown up. Oh, you're actually dead. And there was another one over here. Alright. That's just the nature of, even when you have, like, this is one of the reasons why, even if you have respawns off, you're never truly safe, because the zombies do move around a lot. We have our respawns off. We've gone up and down these roads, killed the zombies here many, many times. But, you know, either, like, something triggered that. You either had a bunch of migrations or something that we've got zombies back in our territory. And all it takes is the one time you're not paying attention and that zombie just strolls up behind you. Just the one. We are in the town of Ekron. Here, let me go ahead and show you on the map. So, if you look up here, this is Riverside. This is Rosewood. If you look at the main road that goes right between them, you'll notice there's a town right here in the middle. It's not one you can spawn in normally, but it's the town of Ekron. And so it is a really, really good place to start your game. So far, it's like one of the places to go right away. Because you have a bookstore, you have a police department, you have a rural supply shop that's got like a gun store in the back, bunches of farming equipment, you got a tool store that's got all your stuff for carpentry, you got a grocery store, you got a pharmacy, and it's got a gas station near a body of water, which, for the record, if you look at this entire map, this is the only gas station near a body of water anywhere close to the center of the map. Because like Rosewood has one down here, you've got one over there, you've got ones up here, you've got some in West Point, but none of those are anywhere in this area. So, for my run where I'm going to be going to different towns and moving around, I want center's map, which means I have one place I can find that. And I saw you, you cheeky zombie. Alright. Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking, is we would make a like a perimeter fence that would go around the gas pumps, have a set of gates that I could open to let cars in and out. What? Alright, new plan, we're just clearing the area. Like, I don't know what happened that there's so many zombies around here all of a sudden, but that's not gonna fly. Did I discover any new cells recently? I haven't updated yet, so no. Alright, that's a machete. But no, Rosewood looks about the same. The first time you drive south from here, for example, did I discover any new cells? Oh, you're talking about, like, have I gone to any place I haven't been before? Yes, so don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised to find new zombies. It's just the fact that, like, now they're suddenly all up here. It's just kind of like, where did you all come from? Because this is a long hike for them. I am not on the new unstable branch. It dropped just a little bit before. I mean, I actually don't know how much dropped. I only heard about 30 minutes before stream, so I didn't get a new chance to do it. Yeah, no, it happens where you'll have a migration, like a group of 20 zombies will come strolling in from the woods, and you're like, okay, I get it. There was a horde over in the woods, a migration triggered, and they wandered in. But it's the fact there's just a whole bunch of scattered zombies all over, I'm like, alright. What's this all about? Okay. Let's get back to moving. There's gonna be more of them and I know it, but we'll just deal with it. Why? What? Like, I bumped that one tree, but the amount of damage my truck took in comparison seems way out of proportion. So I'm gonna have to fix this thing up. Luckily tomorrow we've got the heavy fog, so that gives me a good day to do a bunch of that. Because the brakes, the suspension, the hood, a bunch of that are looking pretty rough for wear at this point. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it does happen that we'll have zombies show up where we've already cleared. It's just you go from when we first cleared this, like, clearing this one road to get into Ekron at the beginning. I think we ended up killing something like 8,000 zombies, 9,000 zombies before we actually got into Ekron, where we were able to stay the night. So needless to say, the amounts of zombies we see here are nowhere close to what we saw before. And they will continue to, like, gradually decrease as we continue killing. Like, honestly, most of the time we don't even see any zombies here. So we've had a lot of zombies move in from different places. There's one up here. There's no one back there. We'll just take our time, kill them all. Yep, that is the plan. We'll kill them all. If it walks, it's gotta die. I would say we don't make the rules, but we kind of do. Oh, I see you hiding back there. If you'd be so kind as to not be in the middle of the trees where it's scary. I'd like to show you how I got my doctorates. Where are you, friend? There you are. That's how I got my doctorates. I just did that many times. Yeah, that gives you an idea of how fast your car's condition can deteriorate from banging into stuff. That I hit that one tree going like 35 or whatever it was, and my brakes suffered dramatically. Okay. But yeah, and the reason we approach clearing these paths in this manner, where we just keep killing the zombies along them again and again and again, is we are going to have to drive these paths a lot. So maneuvering around the zombies would be annoying. Plus, our goal is to kill them all, so, you know, we want them to die. And then on top of that, just as we go by, we're going to keep drawing more and more zombies off from, like, out here and whatnot. So it is good that we clear the zombies out as a routine thing, because it'll just make it safer to deal with later. And plus, if you hit a zombie, it doesn't count towards your kills unless you mod it, which we're not. And also, if you hit a zombie, you damage your car. And while I don't mind repairing the car, it does take time, you have to find supplies, all that. I'd rather not. It's still loaded. At the moment I have it basically hidden. And the reason for that is I was having a discussion with Royal with Cheese TV. That, you know, with my short blade strategy and all that, it was like, you know, I wonder how much you lean on your mods for your short blade strategy. Not like being dismissive or anything, just kind of being curious. I'm like, you know what, let's find out. So, at the moment, the mods are still installed, they're still loaded. You'll see, like, the little arrow appear on my character because I can't hide that. But I have as pretty much everything UI turned off as I can. Just to see, like, how much I am relying on those mods to be able to play in this manner. So far, it doesn't seem like that much. Like, the sleepy thing, I definitely find that I miss being able to tell when my character's starting to get sleepy. But that's about the only one I found that I'm like, I really miss that. That said, this is a well-established character, so it's probably not a good representation for how much I lean on the mods early game, which is when I would probably rely on it more. Hey, Poity. How's it going? Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like, you know, because you're saying, you know, you probably look at the stamina. I'm like, no, it's not that I don't look at the stamina. I actually find the stamina is not as important, because if I switch right after I hit moderately exerted, I usually immediately drop back out of moderately exerted when I start using the hunting knife. But the drowsy thing, that 100%, like, seeing that coming is very helpful. That said, we have talked about whenever this run ends, whether win, lose, or otherwise, that I will probably do the next run completely vanilla, no mods whatsoever, no quality of life mods, nothing. And I will probably do a one painful year, with the only exceptions being is I'm going to not do the perfect dark or absolute dark, whatever it's called, nights or whatever. And that's just because for Twitch viewership, it's terrible. Like, I had a number of people who came to my channel to watch my stream because they're, you know, whatever their preferred content creator was doing, the perfect dark nights or all that. Well, yeah, okay, so I should preface, like, the pillows respawn mod, I would have, like, that would be fine, but, like, is there any other mods I would need? Give me 1 second. Sorry, I had an itch. But is there any other mods other than just the Pillows Respawn mod? Yeah, no. And I guess I should say, like, when I'm saying true vanilla, to me, Pillows Respawn mod is... That should be an option in the base game to say, hey, I would rather not know where I'm going to spawn. Yeah, no, and I get the quality of life are totally acceptable and all that. Like, I don't actually care, like, because I said, I'm already planning to deviate from the challenge, which is you're supposed to have, like, pitch black nights or whatever they're called. And I would, except for, again, for streaming purposes, it's terrible content for a lot of viewers because it's just so hard to see anything as a viewer, and it's just not a great time. Like, I've had multiple people who are regulars on the channel, when I mentioned playing it, they're like, oh, I might not watch that because it's very difficult to deal with the perfect night or whatever it is. I'm going to hide that, if you don't mind. And I've also had a number of people who came to my stream who were watching other content creators who were doing that challenge with the perfect night and whatever it was, pitch black night, saying as much as they enjoyed the content there, it's just they couldn't watch it. It was just too difficult. So that'd be one adaptation, is I'm just not, like, I'm going to just do regular nights. Like, I don't turn up the brightness on the night. It's normal. I have a filter on OBS that I turn up the brightness, but yeah. Yeah, no, I have auto mechanic. Brain Explode says, also, it wouldn't make sense to not have a chest mount or a headlamp. Yeah, no, you'd want some type of thing. It's just, like, for viewership, having, like, this cone of light as your only way to really see around kind of thing kind of sucks after a while. Versus, like, even a dark night here, like, I keep it dark enough that I when there's, like, a zombie out here in the field, I genuinely can't see it most of the time. It's, like, right on that level of brightness for me. And then I have a filter on the stream that makes the gamma about 20 to 25% brighter. Which means it's so most of the time the viewers can see if there's a zombie out there. But there's a difference between it's just really dark. I mean, ideally proxy. But one of the issues you run into is sometimes things don't go according to plan and you get stuck out later than you want, kind of thing. But I am curious how the One Painful Year is, because I fully expect the One Painful Year to be far easier than the type of content I normally play. And this is the same, like, this is a view I also share with Cheese. And people are like, oh, but you have to move your base every, was it month? And it's like, okay, that's not really that hard. Like, water's not that big a deal. If you just put your base near a body of water, you don't need rain barrels at all. I mean, frankly, if you're going to move around at all, like, you don't bother with rain barrels because you can't use them during the winter. Every 4 months? Oh yeah, that's not, like, I could have a fully built base every 4 years. That's no problem at all. It's just the first base is the one that takes a little while because you have to get your carpentry skill up. But even then, if you focus carpentry, you can get carpentry up in just a couple in-game days. Still, I have had well over a dozen people hop in and be like, when are you doing One Painful Year? That's like, I mean, if people want to see it. That said, it might be a long time we get there, because until we die in this run, we're doing this challenge. Yeah, I do appreciate when challenges are more just about the settings. Because what all are the rules? I mean, there's the one rule where you have to move locations every 4 months. And otherwise it's mostly settings, right? Like turning up the zombie AI so they can open windows and doors, turning it to pitch black nights, putting the loot on extreme rare, I believe was one of the settings. Specific dates to move, I think. So, I mean, then the question would be, alright, March 1st is the day to move. If I pack all my stuff on February 27th and start driving, does that qualify, or is it I must wait until March 1st? Because I thought it was like 4 months that, okay, you put your roots down, okay, in 4 months you gotta move. Like, duration of time. Yeah, because if it's... Yeah, you can move earlier. Okay, because my entire thing is like, in that case, it'd be like, okay, the challenge is they want to deliberately make it so you can't stockpile resources, which would be fair. Like, that's where, like, the nomadic challenges come in, where you have to live nomadically, is, like, realistically it means you can't use a freezer, because you're driving around everywhere, you don't get a permanent residence, you can't set up a freezer, because you're not going to be there anymore. Not unless you're, like, skirting the rules. Hey, how's it going, Quico? And you remember to keep that radio on, because we do have multiple helicopters, and we've already been caught by surprise twice now by the helicopter. Yeah, I'll have to look at it, because I just had a lot of people who've asked me to do it. And everything I've seen, it's like, the one thing I'd say is the only one, it's like, okay, that's actually the thing I have to consider is the higher AI for zombies, which is where they can open windows and doors and that without, you know, busting them down. And I'm like, okay, what that means is I have to lock doors, which means I have to find a key, which is, it's not nothing. But finding a key once every 4 months and then slapping a board or two up on each window just so it, you know, it can't be opened without breaking the board is not a huge thing for me. It's mostly just remembering to do it. There's actually been quite a few challenges to do it, like Mr. Nice Gamer's Works Challenge is one that you turn up the AI on the zombies so that they can open windows and doors. And I don't believe the Works Challenge has things where it's like you're required to move location every X amount of time, but rather you're supposed to kill X number of zombies or more per period of time, and to keep that up you have to move. This is true, Xander. I mean, another thing you can do just to handle that situation for the most part is, like the way I've usually handled defenses, kill all the zombies immediately around, and as long as you keep the zombie population in the immediate area heavily suppressed, you usually don't have too much to worry about. And like these days I don't really fight zombies indoor at all, because I can just make a bunch of noise outside and get the zombies to come out to me, and it actually probably work in favor of that, because normally the zombies have to like break down all the doors and windows to get out of a building. Now they're just opening all the doors and walking out on their own. That just means they'll come out faster. Oh, you turned down the zombie weakness? Or strength? I thought people, when they said they're super weak, they're just talking about they're just normal zombies. That's honestly kind of lame if the zombies are weak. Let's not go in here. Let's draw them out to the road. I mean, that's fine, but yeah. So, and I'm going to show how often I change the settings of my zombies. If it's 6 ml by default, I have no idea what reference that is by default Apocalypse Zombies. Let's see. The whole challenge is based off people dying on helicopter event or when moving base. Quico says, I'm looking into One Painful Year Challenge by Duck Pond, Atomic Duck. I think 6+ zombies instead 3+ zombies. Okay, so you're saying they're half strength, you know, based on the settings. I mean, the helicopter event, doesn't scare me at all. Because, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do actually prefer hunkering down when I'm not doing these type of absurd settings. Usually my way of approaching zombies is just walk out into a big open area and I fight them. Or walk them in circles until we're done, and then I walk away. And moving, what would be the, like, the only danger moving I could think is, like, actually setting up in a new location. I mean, it is, but, like, your choices for surviving the zombies are, you fight them, you hunker down, or you kite them. Like when you're dealing with, you know, the overwhelming numbers kind of things that the helicopter's supposed to bring. And I certainly will fight him if we have the means. But there are times where just like 200-300 zombies roll in and you're halfway to exertion and all that kind of stuff. You're like, well, we're not fighting them this time. We got no go. All right, drop that knife. Drop a bunch of knives. The challenge has one huge flaw. You start a year later. The weapons you get from zombies are insane. Getting early katanas, backpacks, machetes makes it easier. Okay, so basically what that means is all perishable food will be rotten. Which means I'm going to have to go into a lot of houses. At least until, you know, I get farming, foraging, fishing, whatever. Like, not having power day one, not having water, actually that doesn't bother me much. Like, honestly, the really CDDA, which had extremely rare loot during the winter start and all that, wasn't that big a deal. Like, the really CDDA, the entire challenge is just the very beginning. Okay, so a year later does start you in winter? I mean, that's not nothing. You said extremely rare loot, so it's doing the really CDDA is kind of how you're starting it. You're just starting it without having the glass in your groin, being drunk, wet, naked, sick, or on fire. I heard them. Yep, when you're saying no map usage, you're talking like my mini-map down here, because I'm fine with that, you know. That's how I played Project Zomboid before the multiplayer mod. I wasn't moving, that's dangerous. No map at all? Yeah, that's fine. That's how the game was before. All you had was like the little Rosewood map and the little whatever map that you could find, and you could pen up the paper map. So I don't care. And I mean, at this point, I know the map enough. It's just like, oh, this is where we're at. Because like people remember from before the multiplayer update, like you would say, oh, here, let me show you where it is on the PZ map. I'm like, that's fine. And then ask me, it's like, do you want me to confirm where you're at? And it's like, nah, that's fine. I think I'm around here. And be like, yeah, you're right. It's like, yeah, not having access to the map, that doesn't bother me. Like, honestly, where I've revealed the whole map of this one, the two reasons I did that was, one, to make sure we just don't miss locations. And then the second reason I revealed the map to begin with is people ask me lots of questions like, where's Zekron? You know, that kind of stuff. So it is nice having the map for showing it to them to like give that information. But yeah, and I don't particularly have a problem with having no map. It could be a bummer for people watching the stream going, where are you? It's like, oh, I'm in this city. Well, where's that? Well, it's kind of north of that and kind of south of that. But that's not that big a deal. But yeah, no, it's just going into the map settings and toggling them all off. That's fine. Like that. That's probably more fun when you're new to the game. Like that's the thing I really liked about when I first found Pillow's random spawn mod. Or did someone tell me where it was? Either way, that I was made aware of Pillow's random spawn mod, because I was like, oh, I'm kind of forced to learn my way around the map. Because one of the things I'll comment to people is like, after you've gotten to that point where you're comfortable like fighting a random zombie, doing that kind of stuff, and you know, getting away with it and all that, it's good to get that mod because it forces you to learn the map and to not just repeat stuff. Because it's very easy in Project Zomboid to get in the habit of just, you know, I spawn in Riverside. Then I go to the, you know, the warehouse. I stock up on my weapons there. Then I go to the bookstore. Like, very, you know, having that flow that you always follow. And that's fine if that's cool with you. But it can make the game less interesting because you keep doing the same thing again and again. Versus with Pillow's random spawn mod, like, alright, well, I spawned at what looks like a train station this time that, you know, I don't know where it is. I guess I'm just going to follow this road to the north and see what happens. Oh, you know, I spawned at this city that I almost never go to. I don't know my way around here. Or maybe you do know your way around there. It's like, okay, well, I need to find tools. I think I can find them here, there, and there. Like having that kind of situation. And I did see the posture check and the stretch. I will get those here in a moment. Get back at it. Yep, so we got thick fog tomorrow, so we'll deal with that. And a lot of these bios should start decaying away pretty soon, so this won't be as bad. As you can see, all these skeletons are the ones that are like right about to decay. And so the more and more these bios decay away, the less and less I have to worry about driving slowly and all that kind of nonsense. Unfortunately, we do keep seeing more and more zombies showing up, which is fine. That's going to happen. We'll keep clearing them out and wiping them out. We're just not doing it right now because we are drowsy, so we want to rush home and get to sleep. Like I had said, we do have that boot camp I could sleep at. The only reason we're not doing that right now is we did get the forecast that tomorrow's weather is supposed to be thick fog. And so generally my approach to this run is when we have really bad weather like tropical storm or thick fog or stuff like that. Those are my work on skill days, because trying to drive around in that kind of weather and fight zombies is a good way to get yourself killed. Raffin says, today I lit my campfire, then ordered a refill of water dispenser, and my character walked over the fire. I ended up, almost died with critical damage and something I could barely walk because of my burnt leg. Yeah, I have no problems using a campfire, but like, I try to be super careful around them. Because while the fire takes absolutely forever to do anything meaningful to the zombies, like burning zombies is just an incredibly tedious and slow process in my opinion. Your character, on the other hand, is basically just made out of kindling. And you catch fire and it's just in seconds you're almost dead. Yeah, so I think what we'll do with this this skill day is, one, we'll fix up our truck, the parts that we started to get damaged. Two, is we're going to start doing some carpentry to start making a perimeter fence around the gas pumps. Nope. Nope, the character's pathing is really dumb. It's about as smart as the zombie's pathing. It's probably the same pathing, actually, if I think about it. Like, there'll be times where you'll have something directly in front of your character, like, I want you to build that, and your character will walk outside, go the entire way around your building, go to the outside back corner, and then do it. And then the very next tile, they'll walk straight at it, and you'll be like, why would you do this? Why wouldn't you just go straight to the thing? Why would you walk around the entire outside of this area when you clearly demonstrate that you can walk through this thing that you didn't want to walk through in the last one? Another thing that's probably drawing out the zombies more is I am being able to drive a little faster each way now because the buys are disappearing, which means I'm driving with like more RPM, which makes my engine louder, which means the zombies hear me from farther, which means more zombies from farther away will come towards this, which is fine. I need to slow it down, got a bunch of bodies. Way earlier in the run, I was being very careful to try and keep as much of the bodies out of the road as possible. But sometime around like 12,000 kills, I finally was like, I can't be bothered anymore. There's just too many. What is the speed of the car? You need to not damage your car when driving. Oh, driving over dead zombies doesn't damage your car. Like, going over those bodies doesn't damage your car at all. Live zombies will damage your car if you hit them or run them over. Dead zombies, running them over doesn't directly hurt your car. What happens is you can jump your car or like put your car into the side and stuff like that. And then ultimately, because you do that, you can, collide into stuff and things like that, which will just, damage your car. But the bodies themselves don't damage your car. The dead bodies. It's effectively losing control of your car that damages your car. And the more you pile bodies in one spot, the more ridiculous the physics get. So if I put like 20 zombies on a single location, you can go really slow and watch your car just kind of jump almost onto its side, even going slow. That's the reasons why you see lots of people who've been playing the game for a long time, when they're dealing with like, the ones who actually take time to clean up zombie bodies, generally what they'll do. Why am I'm brain farting. Yes. I was like, for some reason it's brain farting at which side is in the car or whatever. I don't know why. But you'll see what they'll do is they'll pile up the zombies off of the road if they're going to pile them up. Otherwise, they'd rather just have the zombies kind of all over the place or just going up and down. I want to check, make sure there's no zombies here before we start pumping. Because you never know. They wander around. But, so either try and keep the zombies, like, to one lane where they can just easily avoid the bodies. Or, like, off the road. Or they'd rather just be scattered everywhere. Yeah, like I said, earlier in my run, I was doing really good about very carefully keeping them along the edges of the road. But with as much as the trees are going in now, half of the time on the highway, the sides of the road are just trees that I can't safely be near because the number of zombies is just too easy for me to get grabbed through the trees kind of thing. So I've actually been just killing them in the middle road and all over the road, just going, whatever, like, I'll just run over the bodies, it's fine. I got strawberries that are ready for harvest. And Pan says, to be fair, if you try to get to a location for the first time, it's not really feasible. Yeah, that's been kind of thing. Need a construction site with bulldozers. Just a snowplow. That's all you need. Just a full-on snowplow. Okay. So, grab our saw. We'll grab a box of nails and this. Grab some metal sheets. Grab a second box of nails.